Yeah.
You're good.
Just normal Facebook stuff probably is what that means. Over here. You can, George, you can have a seat. Yeah.
Just take a
You know what you gotta do? Are we live?
Yes.
All right, we're live. So six, a little after 6 for the July 21st, 2025 Finance or Economic Development Committee meeting. Sorry, and we'll start with agenda item number 1. It's petitions by citizens on non-agenda items. Jason, do you have anything today? No. Okay. Item 2, AO Creative Digital Marketing Proposal. AO Creative George and Marty are here to answer any questions. They have a little video presentation, and I guess I'll turn it over to Sarah, George, and Marty to kind of go over what this proposal actually entails.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, so we briefly discussed this at the utility meeting, and at that meeting we said that then we would discuss in further detail at a committee meeting. So here we are to do so. George and Marty joined us again to answer any other questions since you've had now time to go through the proposal in depth. So that's kind of just open the floor to discussion, see if it's something that we want to move forward with. So.
All right. Do we have any questions from anybody on the council right now? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Curious about looking through the proposal. Had a chance to talk with Sarah about it as well and get some clarity. Going through and looking at one of the questions I had is kind of what will the interaction look like between you all and the city, and how much time is required of the city's commitment? Because as you know, content development, people think it's easy, very, very tough, it's difficult, it takes a lot of time. And how much of what you're proposing falls, whether it's planning or through execution, falls to the city, and how much falls to you all?
Generally what we do when we work with an account, it's a team effort. So Marty is basically handling all the graphics, messaging, things like that. We would produce a content calendar on the social side of things. If we have, let's say, an upcoming event, or let's say we get recognized for a national award or something like that, there may not be a lot of time to turn around and make phone calls. We just have to be ready for a press conference and we'll video. And that's my background, is being able to turn something in a day if necessary. But anything we do, we would want to put it in front of you first and have a plan so that you can weigh in on what we're doing. We don't want to necessarily step out of boundaries. It's not a us and them. It's an ongoing conversation. I live here in town. Marty does as well. I think she lives about 500 feet from the building, so she can make it over here anytime she needs to. But when it comes to that, the content provision that we're proposing is that we will archive everything that we shoot. The city will have access to it through a Google Drive, and it can be purposed for anything such as other economic development projects. If you're looking to sell a large piece of property and you would say, hey George, can we get some shots of Waterloo from the south side, or can we shoot the empty lots that are near the schools, or something like that, that may play into a bigger economic play for the community other than just the messaging. So I want to be as flexible with my time as I can be, because I want to advance the community in a way that, quite honestly, I'd love to see. I think what we do now is great. I think that the bands and all the other stuff, and every time I talk to somebody and tell them where I live, they're like, oh, I love that little town. They got the bands, and they start rattling off things. So to be a part of that, as I said earlier, it's a team effort. So we would try to be as expeditious. If we have, Sarah would be our point person, obviously, and she has a vision that she wants, but I'm sure everyone here it has a vision as well, and I would be more than happy, depending on how many times the committee meets during the month, is to come and say, okay, this is what we're working on, here's what we're looking at. If somebody comes up and says, oh, we have this other event and we want to promote it, then that's something we would put in the content calendar. So I think flexibility is pretty much where the content provision kind of lies in a situation where if it's going to happen and we need it, we'll go get it.
So that kind of answers my question. It kind of doesn't.
Okay.
So,
No,
no, you're good. You're good. And so on the content development, it talks about 4 guest posts, 2 on-page blogs, 3 off-page blogs, 1 press release, and these fall under the monthlies. Are all of those done by AO?
We would do those. Now, if you have, let's put it this way, we do the infusion. Let's say there's somebody on this team that already wants to write a blog, they're part of that. We would take that and we would take it and infuse the keywords and key phrases that are recognized by Google on your behalf as the best ranking words and phrases. Something like rural community or Waterloo Optimist, or any of those phrases that are currently used in other capacities will get recognized and ranked. So if we're doing, I'm drawing a blank on it. Let's say Pumpkin Fest, say the month before, we probably want to do an article with the mayor and have maybe a sit-down interview, or maybe do a little video with you talking about why we do Pumpkin Fest. Then we would extract everything that he says and put it in print. We'd also exercise the interview we've done with extra B-roll, other shots of town, other years past events, and then draw those in almost like a slingshot before the event occurs. We then take the SEO and we're positioning that constantly, and then we're putting it in such a way that we would put advertisements in Facebook prior to get more non-followers, more people that have never heard of it or just moved here or something like that to come to the event. And it does take time to develop your SEO. The optimization is exactly that. It's like tuning a race car. So to answer the question, we're drawing from a lot of different sources. So let's say the mayor's not available for an interview, but there's an article somewhere that's been done. We can pull those quotes, optimize those quotes for an article that we might put together if nobody has the time to get involved with that engagement. So we would constantly, as we do with our other clients, engage, ask questions. I would attend meetings. We would get an agenda as to what we want to do and target. Because we, again, have introduced a smaller package, but at the same time, I want to show you what we can do in that interim time so that we might plan for bigger things.
So I think I might be reading this wrong then, so I'm glad we're having this conversation. Because I was looking at the proposal, I thought the guest post, blog articles, backlinking was something that you did.
No, we do.
But I mean, as a part of this proposal.
Yes, it is part of it.
Okay.
What I intend to do is be able to exercise over this period what our full capabilities are. Because if I go in and we do it half-heartedly, then you're not really going to see the kinds of benefits that you would normally see.
Right.
So again, if we come in and we have everything in our arsenal that's available, then the ROI at the end is going to be much greater. And I've done this in multiplicity with we have a large pool manufacturer who did no advertising, nothing on LinkedIn. They're just blowing up. And it's just rudimentary work, but it's done in such a way that it yields much more than your standard, hey, we just do your social media.
Right.
So that's kind of where I come from. My background is television, so I'm going to want to leverage that in order to exercise what we can do for you.
And again, I guess what I'm trying to get to is, right now, this is not a part of Sarah's daily work.
That's correct.
And she's busy.
Okay.
So how much of this will be added to her plate to interact with you all to get everything done? Are we looking at an hour a week, 2 hours a month, 10 hours a month? It has set up like this, and I get it if there's a press release or there's a national award or something like that. I'm just trying to gauge what type of commitment we're committing to off of this.
Okay. I can assure you that we, at my group, my developers, Marty, myself, and Todd, would all be engaged in exercising the completed work. If you give us, as an example, if I come to a meeting, we have an agenda of, okay, George, we've got these things are coming up. This is our calendar. Marty will weed through that, put it together. We might spend, I don't know, half hour. She'll look it over. and then we can start executing graphics. It's really, we want to know what your vision is. We want to maintain that vision and then stay on top of it. So I don't see it where we're like spending half of our economic development meeting discussing where we're going to go next Friday.
That's
So-
all, that's,
Right.
you guys.
So what I'm saying is her time would be minimal. We would have things prepared. They would be for anybody to view on the team, and they can weigh in on. But if Sarah's making that decision, then she would exercise it, and we would execute.
And I'm asking from the standpoint of talking with Sarah. She's like, this is something that I think we've wanted to do for a while, and I haven't had the time to do it. So when the opportunity came in to have somebody help kind of expand the engagement ratio that we have with the social media public, especially those that aren't engaged with us already,
Right.
I think that's super exciting. Again, it's just a matter of, this takes a lot of time to develop the content. The SEO part, the SEM part, that's you guys, totally, I get that.
Yeah.
So-
I think really it just comes down to what our initial conversations were to cover the main events in the community, like the Pumpkin Fest, the Santa Claus, that type of thing, the float. They have the concerts out here. I think there's 8 or 10 real key events, but when I speak about the SEO or the optimization, I also speak to the brand of Waterloo as it's consumed by the people that are on there. Now, we're not going to be, posting 6-7 times a day. It won't be crazy like that. It's going to be strategic. We have a set of software that allows Marty and myself to understand who's on the page, all their demographics, when they're on, what time they're off, and when is the optimum time to put those posts out. And then if we drive it with advertising, there's a small budget in there to drive certain things. And we would spend that in either a short period. You don't technically go out and just splather a ad campaign and go, oh, okay, here it is. It's all over every zip code. If we want to affect more change and have more people from South County, or you're looking for people from the southern part of Monroe County or even further out, we can target those things. But it just depends on that base vision. So if I'm given a situation where you want, say, a 40-mile radius of Monroe County, that would include South County as well as Red Bud and everything like that. So those are some of the bits of strategy and pieces of it, but I would minimize the amount of time that I have to call someone. And when you give us the football and you tell us what play we're running, we're going to run the play.
I feel like
No.
I feel like I could also, if we did have these meetings, I could come in, I could have, if we knew the Pumpkin Fest was coming up, say, so it's in October, we could do September. I could come into the meeting, I could have a calendar made for October. We could critique it right then and there, hey, I think 2 weeks out we need to do this. We could edit it right then and there, and then immediately I could start working on graphics. I could send them to Sarah. She'd say yes, no, switch this, and then that's done a month in advance.
That's what-
We don't really I can try to come up with the content as early, soon out as possible, and then just have you guys come in, critique it if you have any advice, anything like that, or something you want to see. That way it's not so much we're all putting our brains together to come up with content, to try to minimize the amount of time
The back and forth.
needed, yeah.
So kind of how I see this is, I wouldn't see this engaging us at all.
Right.
I mean, it's
Very little.
Sarah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the mayor.
Mhm.
And whoever else
Right.
at that level. So, and putting together that calendar 1, 2, 3, 4 months in
Yes,
advance.
yes.
Sure. That's
Easy
even
enough
better.
to do. One other question is, you've got search engine optimization, platinum level on here.
Mhm.
We're in the middle of redoing our website right now.
Correct.
And so typically those two things go hand in hand.
They do, and that was my next question to the committee is, our statement would be, whoever is building the site, I'd love to be able to, bend an ear, listen to what they're doing, and as we're ready and when the site launches, that we have all the updated new businesses, things like this, and then we have the strategy of those keywords and key phrases,
Right.
so they understand that when we produce the blogs and all the rest of it, we're working with them. We don't work against them. So
100%. And that's
it's-
one of the
that's
reasons
key.
why it was kind of nice to see this now is that process isn't so far along
Mhm.
that we're gonna do back work
Right.
to get caught up. So you have no problem working with other companies that
We
are.
do it all the time. And that's part of the handshake, the professional handshake from business to business.
Right.
I have clients all over in web companies that we do work with. So, and it also requires me going down there and meeting with them and having a separate meeting and saying, here's who we are, this is what we're doing. We can do that and then report back with meeting notes, and you'll know what interactions are happening there too.
And one other quick question. You've got video on here. Do you foresee that if it's just listed as 8 hours at your rate, which is fine, do you see that as an every month thing, or is that a?
Well, I see that
It's a hard
as,
sell.
what I did, and the videos I'll show you here, what I did for about 15 years with the city of St. Louis is gathered nothing but events and located, what we call the business locators. And all of those are sprinkled in these image videos that we produced. And we also provide it to outside sources. So if let's say somebody's going to have a rodeo and they have never had a rodeo here before, and we've done one, and maybe that same organization isn't going to do it this next year or 5 years from now, you can plan for bigger events. You can demonstrate what that all looks like. We can have it narrated. But the key is you'll have all the photography and video that we shoot available for that.
Right.
So it's a brain trust of what Waterloo is, and the video I will show you is resident of what we did there.
Are you anticipating it being a monthly type of thing?
Well, I mean, we're gonna gather video of those events and just the city and different picturesque things. What I'd love to be able to do is, in the social side of things, is engage people. There's several people I've met that have shot wonderful photography of Waterloo, and maybe featuring some of that on the social page or something like that, and give them a byline credit. I'll shoot a number of things. I've already done it. I do it from my house all the time when they did the construction of the water tower and things like that. So that's what I'm saying, is that we'll have a plethora of things to choose from for future, maybe not in context, but out of context things that are more valuable on a larger scale. So we can look at that and say, okay, well, we've got this. Can you guys edit this for us? We want to do a 2-minute video for XYZ kind of thing. So yeah, it's a team effort, and we want to do what's right and make it timely. So that's kind of that. Correct.
Sarah, when's the website going to be up?
I am meeting with the content designer, the website designer this week. We have been going back and forth with the homepage design. It's not quite to the point where it's ready to show the council for feedback. I'm hoping to do that at the next utility meeting. So then once the design is pinpointed, then it's just a matter of filling in the content. So I'm hoping we're almost there.
Okay. So bringing somebody in like Teo, the time to do it with the website would be now, not
Correct.
2 months from now.
Yeah, and I have no problem meeting with them. A couple suggestions that I would make is that we integrate all of the social handles. If there's a Twitter, I know there was at some point there was a TikTok somewhere floating around out there. I don't know if somebody made it or whatever. Any of those handles that are managed by the city, we want those monikers somewhere at the bottom or somewhere at the top so that people can see it. The other thing I'd like to see from the web folks is a way to, and it's easy to do because it's a hyperlink, from your Google My Business page, we link the social accounts so that, let's say there's a picture of the mayor doing a dedication or something like that, or it's your birthday, or something along those lines, but it would show up as almost like a ticker at the bottom. Now what that does, you might say, well, why do we have to do that? What it does is Google is constantly scanning everybody's page, and they're scanning for a lot of things. They're scanning for broken links, they're scanning for new topics or content, and that's where we benefit by having those things changing and having a schedule that's produced with fresh graphics and fresh content, so that when Google passes by the Waterloo website, it ranks, and it ups your authority score, your performance, all of those things that go into getting more people to see Waterloo the way we want to see it. I hope that answers the question. But
Yeah.
if we can get engaged with them, all I got to do is be a fly on the wall. I'll probably just mention some things to Sarah and sit there, and you guys decide how you want to do it. I'm just suggesting that you integrate your social handles into the page somehow.
Yeah, that is already part of our plan for the homepage.
Cool.
Any other questions for George or Marty?
I have one. You know, it sounds like a wonderful program.
Mhm.
You know, you list community highlights, promotions, Firebird, Witches Night, Pumpkin Fest, community spotlights. That's wonderful. Is there a written list of exceptions? You know, things that you won't do. And I'm particularly thinking of schools. Is that going to be
Well, it depends on.
what clubs are and what clubs aren't?
Well, if it's content, there's something happening, let's say at the grade school, and there's photos, those are all going to get integrated in some fashion through the social account. So that's part of the content messaging there. If it's gathered by somebody else, that's fine. I mean, if it's within those 8 or 10 larger events, that's one thing. But I'm certainly flexible. I'm not going to sit here and say I won't do something. If the workload is so tremendous that I can't get it all done, then I'm going to speak up and go, wait a second, we got so much here. But when you refer to schools, you're talking about taking pictures of the basketball games or something like that? Or
an event that's coming up at the school. You know, trying to promote that.
Sure. I think you could do that through the social channels, depending on how much
We
you
can't
want to
do
see
that.
that stuff.
We can't do that. They're separate taxing body than us.
Okay.
See,
There's my
okay.
answer.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
can't do that.
I would allow you guys to set those parameters for me because I'm not an attorney. But in that case, if it is a different tax body and we are a public entity promoting the city, then it has to stay within those guidelines.
It wouldn't be a bad thing, but it's not something that we can do with the school district.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't put, let's put it this way, we wouldn't put dollars behind it to promote it. We would just post it. But I think that's when you go into that whole taxation thing. It's like,
Right.
oh, they use this money to promote that.
Right.
So I would never place an ad without approval, if that also answers your question.
Okay.
So Sarah would guide us and say, no, you can't do that. We've got to do this. And we would stay within those bumpers.
Now I'd like to go over the financials real quick here. So the hotel motel tax, it takes in on average about $2,400 a month. For whatever reason, this past June was only $34, so
I don't
some
know
little
that
odd
it's
there.
fully updated.
Right. Well, that's what's on the council
Right.
collector's report. So, but either way, we can see the backlog is about $2,400 a month average. The current proposal here is for a 7-month investment for $11,100. So 6 months plus 1 month free. Is that how I'm supposed to read that? I
Yes,
guess.
yeah.
So $1,585 a month, and we have $165,000 in the bank of the hotel motel tax fund. This to me is something that this tax fund is for.
It is right now. Basically, look at what you've shown here on the sheet is basically balance or how much we have come in basically goes out into this. And this would be a little more than that, but
Right.
165,000 sitting there right now,
Right. As of right now, we budget $30,000. We spent about
and
$30,000.
that's pretty accurate to what
So-
you see here. So
And Joel, I reached out to the Tourism Bureau today because it was something that just popped in my mind. Through our membership with them, we could run this digital marketing proposal, and if we do that, we would save 15% through our membership with the Discover Downstate Illinois. So that would bring it down to about $94.35 for the entire 7
7 months.
contract.
It's a little bit of a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
15% discount like that. All right.
So that's
Motion
money that's funded from downstate Illinois,
Correct.
we're not cutting the AO budget.
No.
Okay, great.
What
So
would
then
happen-
You're helping save money.
They would,
Yeah, what would happen
what they
is-
purchase would be cheaper because of that.
Yeah, the contract we would actually sign would go through Discover Downstate Illinois. They would be the ones actually signing with you on our behalf, and then we would end up paying Discover Downstate Illinois, and Discover Downstate Illinois is who would be paying AO Creatives. That's how we do our billboard contract, that's how we save the 15%. So that was just something that popped in my head. I called Christine, our rep, and she said absolutely, we could do that.
Okay. Any other discussion points? I don't think we'll have time to get to any videos.
That's fine.
Uh,
Basically,
should we do
it's self-explanatory.
If you want to send me the links, George, I can send it out to the council for you.
I've got a couple of them.
Okay.
You at your leisure. Any other questions on the breakdown or anything like that?
Are you ready for recommendation?
I believe so, unless there's any other discussion. I would take a recommendation for, I guess it would be for $9,435
Correct.
for a 7 months contract.
I'll make Yep, I'll second it.
Gary first, Tina second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Appears to be unanimous. And we'll move on to item 3, which is comments. Any comments from anybody? Seeing none, we will
Okay.
close this meeting at 6:27. Thank you all. Motion to adjourn. Sorry, somebody, anybody. Gary. All right. Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Time for dinner.
Yeah.